offshore camp.
So we're going to start this one off a little bit different. We got rat czars. We have women walking backwards, but nonetheless, Steven, are you ready?
Yep.
So what's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the one, the only, the great show. We got next. So many things are coming up, but just to get us started off the bat, there were two things I wanted to talk about before we get into everything else. The first one is, so I have a gym in like my apartment complex, and I've seen this one lady numerous times. She'll end up like just walking backwards. It's the most random thing, but before we get into that,
What do you mean by that? What do you mean? Like,
so I'll explain that. But do you remember
at the gym? Like on the
No, no,
treadmill?
no. She's not even in the gym walking backwards. She walks around like the building, just like backwards. Then she comes into the gym to like fill up her water bottles. She'll go there, turn around, fill it up, then she'll walk out the back door like backwards. But I'm saying all that because do you remember at the last apartment I lived in, I told everyone about this guy I just saw randomly in the hallway?
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Okay, hang on. Because you never. This is the first time you ever mentioned the woman walking backwards thing.
Mhm.
How old is she? Like,
She's older. I would say she's in her late 60s, probably
okay.
70s.
Is she white?
Yeah.
Black?
Yeah.
Asian?
She was
Indian?
white.
White? Okay.
She reminds me of like a Nanny McPhee, Miss Frizzle type of
Miss
woman.
Frizzle. Okay. Well, we
Yeah.
all know Miss Frizzle could get it.
She wasn't like that. I could
Miss
promise
Frizzle,
you.
we all know Miss Frizzle was a freak.
Yeah.
For sure.
This
Um,
one,
okay, so do you think this woman has something going on? Or is she just like a normal woman? A normal
she
person?
wasn't she's not a normal woman. I would have to say she probably has something going on.
All right, all right.
If anything, but I'm saying all that to say,
Yeah.
I've seen her before walk backwards, but I thought nothing of it. And then I said, maybe it was like just that day for her. She just wanted to walk backwards. Then today, like I was walking, she came from somewhere, and I was like, why is she walking so much slower than me? Then I turned around, I was like, oh shit, she walks backwards like every day. So that was kind of the biggest thing. I'll let you guys know if the next time I see her, she walks backwards. I saw her one time. She left the gym, walked backwards, then like walked down a hallway, walked backwards, looked at me, made another right, then walked backwards,
Have
and
you
went
ever seen her
outside.
walk normal?
No, I
Really?
haven't.
I'm really I you need to somehow take a video of this the next time it happens. Like you have to take a video. I need to see this. I need to see the consistency of which the Lakers cannot hit a shot.
No.
Do they have missed so many shots just now? I need to see the consistency of what how she walks. And
But
what her
it's such a fluid
is it
motion
like
of her walking backwards. That's the crazy part. But
Lakers are down 63-44 as we speak. Second half
yeah.
just started.
And so that's the thing. We'll end up bringing that up because I want to talk about John Morant. The other thing is, so Steven and I talked about this earlier, but there's a lady that's a former teacher. She is now going to be called Rat Czar. She is going to make $150,000+ to help kill. Huh?
Is that that's her title, Rat Czar?
She said that she's going by Rat Czar.
Now this woman definitely has something going
on. And she said, believe me, you all will be seeing me around. So apparently we'll all be seeing her around because she is now going to be
Rat Czar.
Rat Czar.
No, is this woman white, black, Asian, Indian?
White. I don't think too many Asian or black people are gonna sign up and be like, I want to kill all the rats in New York City. I just don't.
There's some big ass rats too, bro.
Yeah, actually, they don't. Her name is Kathleen Karadi, so she might be Hispanic.
Okay.
And it says, I quote, "You'll be seeing a lot of me and a lot less rats."
That's her tagline.
I guess so. That's what she was saying. She's a former elementary school teacher.
Like Showdown 20.
Yeah, so that's the big thing I wanted to talk about over there. I want to get into the important news because I do have some questions when we end up touching on these stories. And the first thing is blue-white game.
Yeah.
Was I watching the game? Yes, I did watch bits and pieces of the game. So I want your thoughts on it. Talk to us about Drew Allard. Talk to us about just overall how it went. If you thought they looked kind of good for a spring game. And then I have a couple of questions.
It was it was good. The defense looked much better than the offense, which I think is usually expected. I think Penn State defense this year under Manny Diaz, second year for Manny Diaz, I think they're going to be really good. Like one of the top 2 or 3 defenses in the country this year. We have All Americans at every level, multiple All Americans. Everyone knows guys like Chop Robinson, Abdul Carter, Kalen King, but we have 3 guys who are going to be, I think, absolute problems for our other teams. This defensive end, we got denied Dennis Sutton, number 33, with unblockable. I know it's a scrimmage, but like still, you got to go out and do it. He was beating our left and right tackles like it was nothing. At linebacker, this freshman we got, Tony Rojas from down in Fairfax, actually. Number 13, he's gonna be a beast. They have him at linebacker, but he's like a safety hybrid type of thing, whatever, something like that. Just very good instincts and too talented to keep off the field. And then the secondary, this kid KJ Winston, safety, number 21. It's like a 6'2", 210-pound safety, big kid, instincts again, great, big hitter, all that kind of good stuff. So on top of the guys that we have that everyone knows, we just have other dudes. We have a lot of dudes in our defense. And I'm very pumped about that. Offensively, Drew Adler's going to be the guy. James Franklin says there's a competition or open competition, I guess, something like that for a quarterback, but there's not. Penn State fans know who's going to be the starter, and so does James Franklin. So there's that, and he looked the part. They were shaky, but you've seen spring games as much as I have. They are kind of just sloppy sometimes. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of like the quarterbacks are still getting used to everything and still learning the systems and getting the timing right with the receivers. You could tell that was off a little bit. So am I worried about the offense? Not at all. I think we'll be fine. But the good news is I think our defense is going to be so good that we won't need to score that many points. So, that's a plus. But yes, overall, pretty awesome. You've never been to Blue White Weekend with me, have you?
No.
Okay. It's pretty cool. Like, it's just another football weekend, but like no one gives a shit about the game. So like you just tailgate all day. You can just skip the game. But obviously I went out with Mason, didn't skip the game, went in with him. Shout out to Jay Hill, shout out to Uncle Jordan for hooking us up with the suite. And Scott, your boy Scott was there. We got him in the box with him. So that was pretty dope. Mason was a trooper all day. So I'll say this. We got there. It rained from the time we left my house to the time we got to State College. And that's a very long drive, 3-hour drive, right? Damn. So my hopes for it not raining were, they went out the window. So we LeBron and Dylan Brooks. Uh-oh. Are you watching?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these dudes are going at it. Nice. I like that. Hope Dylan Brooks pisses off LeBron. LeBron goes out for 30 the next, 15 minutes of the game.
This is legit his job.
Who, Dylan Brooks?
Yeah. Like he doesn't have any other job outside of that.
Fucking menace. But anyway, we got there. We were in the car after we parked. And I looked at him, and Mason and I was in the front seat. And I told him, I was like, look, dude, it's raining. You're going to get wet. We have to walk very far. Okay, it's not close. We have to walk very far. If you can walk, awesome. If not, I'll carry you. But you put your jacket on. It's going to rain. You're going to get wet. Luckily, it was like 65. So it wasn't
like him like he a grown man.
He is, though. In this situation, he is absolutely a grown man. Like, I need you to understand what the mission is. We have to go pretty far from where we are now to Uncle Jeff's tailgate. We have to go far. You're either you walk or I'll carry you. But if you're walking, you need to, don't whine. Stop bitching. Like, that's what I told him. I was like, you're going to get wet. Deal with it. We'll be there in no time. Just work with me today, okay? And he said, all right, I got you. He dapped me up, got out of the car, he had his little rain jacket on, and we walked. And he walked for like most of the journey. Didn't say a word. We just kept slugging along, walking through tailgates. I mean, there's so much, like, he's so stimulated that, like, he's not even worried about anything else. He's just walking and looking at shit. Got to a point where I'm like, all right, I got to pick this little dude up. Put him on my shoulder, trekked it out of there. But, man, shout out to the homie, dude. Mason was a fucking trooper all weekend, all day. So, yeah, that was big time. But anyway, yeah, Blue White Weekend was cool, as always.
So I have a question, because I was watching it. For someone that didn't go to Penn State, doesn't know all the disciplinary stuff. So if anybody saw the beginning of the game, You saw the touchdown happen. Then you saw the receiver end up like hit the gritty, and then they end up sending him to the side because it was unsportsmanlike conduct. So tell everybody about that, because that's clearly not the first time something like that has happened, and who kind of administers those type of disciplinary actions.
Yeah, it's just James Franklin just doesn't like the BS about things. And honestly, it's funny that we're talking about this. I like I've seen Penn State players celebrate. Like Saquon Barkley used to do like the arm thing when he would like after he'd score, he'd run to the sideline. And I've seen Penn State players celebrate, but like not like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was just that was like a NFL celebration, I guess, or what they.
Yeah.
But like when the Penn State usually celebrates, they'll do it like run over the sideline or like it's a whole like team thing. Very rarely do Penn State players like individually celebrate like that. Maybe they'll do like the get on the knee and point to the sky or whatever, but like that doesn't usually happen. So I think that's why he got punished for it. But then he had to do I forget how many up downs, but it was a
Bro, he
lot.
was doing up downs for a
Yeah.
minute.
And
Yeah.
anyone who's ever played football, doing up downs without pads on is a pain in the ass. Doing it with pads,
Yeah.
that's just even worse. Helmet strapped up and everything. But yeah, Franklin just doesn't deal with the bullshit. So Omari Evans, that's who hopefully is our third guy, but yeah, can't do that. Can't have that.
Yeah, so that was kind of the first thing I saw just looking at the game. Drew Aller looked good throughout parts of it. Like you saw the throws that he ended up making.
He definitely looks the part.
Yeah.
He looks like the quarterback you want to have. Big
Mm-hmm.
6'5", 240, all that good stuff. He's got a cannon of an arm. But he just needs to, the connection he has with the receivers isn't quite there yet because he played in 10 games, but it was mop up duty, so not a whole lot of passing going on. Obviously, he wasn't getting reps for the ones last year, like he's now. So it's a brand new thing, but I'm not worried at all.
Mm-hmm. So
but
that was
I do watch our spring game.
Yeah, man. So what's wild is I think I was just sitting here and I said, all right, I have like
it was on Big Ten Network, right?
Yeah, it was on the Big Ten Network.
Yeah.
So I was able to just like turn it on and I saw that. And I was like, all right, you know what? This is good because there's not a lot of sporting events on right now. You have some, but then am I really going to be watching baseball games? Probably not.
No.
So it was
real quick before I forget. Shout out to the Pirates, 12-7 on the year.
They're doing good.
Shout out.
Yeah, this will be the last time we can talk about it. But shout out. You got to talk about it all you can.
I'll check back in a month. We're in last place and we still have 12 wins.
So I have a couple of things that I want to touch on in like the finance and then like crypto sphere of things. I'll try to keep it quick, but for everyone out there that wants to know more, just tune in on Mondays when we have the spaces. I also, fun fact for everyone out here, as of this recording, I will be doing another interview conversation after I finish with this one. And that'll be with a company called Octopus Network. They're overseas, so that's kind of why I know they're overseas. So that's kind of why I have to do it later. So it'll be like 10 p.m. our time. I'll be doing that one, but just some things in the financial realm. So Tesla, their net income and earnings dropped more than 20% from the last year. If anybody knows anything, you know that this is not something surprising. It's just because of everything has been continuing to increase. Their profit margins are dropping. And then everyone's first thought isn't, all right, let's end up getting electric vehicles. So you might want it. Everyone can't afford them right now. But on the flip side of that, IBM earnings top estimates as margins expand. And then another thing is layoffs. So that's become a big focus. And Meta is the next one in line that has started to lay people off. So they started their latest round of layoffs, focusing on like the technical employees. So that's something for people to end up continuing to monitor, just because everyone's over here saying that, oh, we're fine, we're not really in a recession. You don't have layoffs like this from big name companies if we're not in some sort of recession or anything like that.
Weekly.
So,
It's like weekly.
Yeah, weekly. It's like various different companies that are either laying off people, saying, oh, we can't hold on to this person or that and the other. The other thing I wanted to let everyone know about, so while we were on the spaces, the podcast, in the beginning, I was transferring money from one crypto wallet to another. I'm not going to show you guys, but I told you about it before. I ended up purchasing another Claynosaur this time. So for everyone that's like, what the hell is a Claynosaur? Think about the different animals from Land Before Time. That's exactly what it is.
What do you call them?
Huh?
What's it called?
a claynosaur. So
What? Can you spell it?
CLAYNO
Okay.
SOAR.
All right.
Yeah. So I picked up one of those. I sold one last week because I noticed that the price is going down. And I'm saying all this because the price of Bitcoin, Solana, and everything has continued to go up, which meant like the price of NFTs has started to drop. Why do people not realize that it's an inverse effect? Don't ask me, but that's what they did. But then today I found this Raptor on sale. So I got into that. Another thing is there's a game called The Heist. And essentially you have like monkeys and gorillas. It's kind of like cops and robbers, and you can end up earning Nano, which is their native token. So I picked up a chimp like a day or two ago, and then I picked up a gorilla today. So I just kind of have it out doing missions. It's so goddamn tough. Like I swear, I can't do these video games. I'm almost need to hire somebody to do the video games for me, because I'm gonna show you guys actually this really quick. We're not doing the game, but they don't have the mobile version. What?
Real quick, Anthony Davis's defense last game and then tonight, elite level defense.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to point that out. He's playing incredible defense right now. I think he's got almost 10 blocks in 2 games. Anyway, sorry.
Is this not gonna work? I guess I have to put you guys on the other screen.
Damn, bro.
If anything. Damn, this won't work on this screen because apparently my laptop isn't big enough. Will this work?
Uh-oh.
What? Even this won't work. Oh. Damn. Well, oh well. Sorry, I tried to help you guys, but it's not working.
Damn, bro. Super disappointing.
Yeah. So that was kind of one thing that I was going to end up talking about. Another thing is what I was just on this goddamn game 2 seconds ago. Whatever. But I want to bring up a couple of finance sports stories. The first one is the Tennessee Titans. So they're one step closer to having their $1 billion stadium approved. And the thing is, it's $2.1 billion. Yes, that's a good amount of money, but it's public funding. That's kind of the biggest thing that they said. And it would mark the largest public money spent on an NFL stadium in history. Clearly, everything's become like the next biggest thing in history, but it would be set to open in 2026. Have you seen the renderings for the stadium?
No, but I can only imagine how it's
what's
gonna look like.
So all of them just become the next biggest thing. I remember when Jerry's World came out. That was the dopest thing in the world.
That's a whole other planet.
It was.
Yeah.
And now all I'm gonna say is for anybody out there, I've never been to Tennessee, never been to Nashville. I hear some people tell me I don't ever need to go. Some people say you should go. But if this stadium comes out the way that it looks, shit is going to be amazing. And I pray that they actually have a good team. Because
you share some pics?
Yes. This is probably like, I would say, the nicest stadium I've seen. Let's see, how does this end up working?
Really? See here. Whoa, what?
I don't.
It's an apartment complex in like Silver Spring.
Exactly.
Dude, they all look the same on the inside. That's crazy, though.
I know.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So that was a big damn. The Lakers
it could open by
2026.
Dude,
it could open in 2026, but that's 3 years from now, and they haven't started building it. Yeah, so it's probably not going to be till like 2027. Yeah. All that they're trying to do with this is not a regular stadium.
Bro, what is like? Come on.
So that was
nice though. Good for them.
Yeah, if they can.
There's a lot of other teams I would say there's a lot of other teams who are getting to that point where like they're gonna. I mean, PNC Park. I mean, not PNC Park. Heinz Field or whatever it's called now is not old like in years, but like by stadium definition, yeah, it's pretty old. So that was like mid 2000s, early 2000s, give or take. So yeah, that stadium's getting old, but I don't see them redoing that or building another one anytime soon. So that was kind of one that I wanted to bring up. The other one is everyone probably has heard about it, and I want your thoughts. So the Commanders are going to essentially be sold for $6.05 billion, which is a lot of money. And all Dan Snyder has to do is accept the offer. But on the flip side of that, there was another offer that was out there by, forget his name. I think his name was like Brian or David, but Magic Johnson.
No. Magic Johnson is a part of the team for with Josh Harris for the 6.5. But there was a $7 billion offer out there, and he would have been the first Black owner of the Commanders if it went through, and they were saying they were going to give him $1 billion. Oh, Brian Davis. So I was really close. Brian Davis is reportedly offering $7 billion bid to buy the Commanders. And that's how you know it goes into like it's a bro thing, because $7 billion, there has to be more as to the reason why. They were saying that $1 billion would be given within the first 24 hours and the rest of it would be given within like 2 to 3 weeks or something like that. So you get all the money quicker, but they're going to go with Josh Harris's bid more than likely for $6.05 billion. Josh Harris, for those that don't know, he owns the 76ers as well. Magic Johnson is a part of this one. I don't know why they're going with this one or how it ends up going. Another thing was like people were trying to make sure Jeff Bezos didn't get the Commanders. So that's the other part with that I just wanted to bring up. And then the last thing that I want,
$7 billion.
$7 billion, 6, 7, all of the money is stupid money.
That doesn't even make sense.
No.
Like an incomprehensible number. $7 billion. Well,
yes.
What does that mean? Like, how do you pay for that? Like, how do you just have $7 billion readily available to buy like an NFL franchise? It doesn't even I can't even. I don't know what that means.
Y'all just have that type of money lounging around for everybody.
Crazy though, dude. Like, that's wild. Anyway.
So my final one was, and I don't know, I can't find it. I forget when I saw it, but I remember the information. So it was Manchester City. They are doing renovations on their stadium. Yes, of course, I'm going to talk football because I have to explain how much this is in terms of the money in England. Because over here, I feel like it would cost so much more, but they're going to spend $473 million on renovations for their stadium. And some of the things that are found it. They're going to spend $373 million for stadium upgrades, and the capacity would increase to 61,000 people in attendance. They would have 400 bed hotels.
Wait. Is that US dollars or
US dollars?
Okay.
Yeah. They would have a new club shop. They would have a museum, new food and drink options, whatever, office workspaces. So this I'm going to also show, because I don't understand how people have the money and the ideas and the thought process behind all of this. So this is what their stadium would end up looking like.
What is that? That's that's just a whole entertainment package.
Exactly. And that's what it's become. Finding ways for people to have an experience there. Because back in the day when we used to go to games, it wasn't all of this. It was you go to the game, you leave. Now it's, oh, you're going to get all the bells and whistles, a part of just being at these different arenas and venues.
And like a lot of times they're, I guess it doesn't happen often, but like teams will lower their attendance like for like the renovations, so or leave it the same and just add in all that other extra shit that they don't really need. Penn State wants to do that with Beaver Stadium. They want to renovate it, and I think the renovation will take off 5,000 or 6,000 seats, or like the final number, whatever it would be. But man, these stadiums are crazy.
Yeah,
they're only gonna get crazier too. Like Buffalo, the Bills, that's gonna be a crazy stadium too.
I know, and the amount of money that they're gonna be spending on these stadiums, then that only means
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that was one of a kind, and I have both those teams in there. But that's mainly everything I wanted to.
You haven't been there, have you? So far?
No, I was supposed to go actually this month, but the event that they were going to have, they end up making it virtual, so I didn't get to go to it. But speaking of which, that's a great segue because you brought up SoFi Stadium, and I want to transition us over into the sports world with more money talk. And my man, Jalen Hurts got paid. He got all the money in the world. One, what are your thoughts on it? 2, did you expect something like this? 3, I will end up just doing my victory lap because I've been preaching about Jalen Hurts since college, and for him to get this money after being a second-round pick and being benched, kudos.
Okay, first of all, yes, all that is true. Second-round pick, he was benched in the national title game, but let's not act like this came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah,
he's nice. And we all saw what he could do in college early on in Oklahoma. He almost won the Heisman in Oklahoma. He almost won the Heisman in both places. Like, it's nice. So yes, good for him. Does he deserve it? Yeah. He's definitely, if you can take your team to the Super Bowl and like you're the reason why and you're like MVP status, yes, like that's different than like Trent Dilfer taking the Ravens to the Super Bowl. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Like that's so yeah, good for him. He was the reason why they went to the Super Bowl. I know he had a good defense, the offensive line was good, whatever, but like your quarterback being the MVP, I mean, look at the Chiefs, that helps. So yes, good for him. Is it a lot of money? Yeah, of course it is. It's a shit ton of money. There's no trade clause in there. So there's that. That's a good thing for them. But it's just a lot of money. But they obviously structured it in a way where they can still sign guys, unlike what's happening in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson.
That's some crazy shit.
That doesn't. I don't think this does anything for the Lamar Jackson conversation because like he ain't getting that money. It's like not. It's not like. I mean, there's gonna be guys who keep coming up who get more and more, but like Lamar Jackson's not getting anywhere close to what he just got. No way.
So what's crazy is somebody was saying that there's an offer out there of $200 million guaranteed that they offer Lamar Jackson. You never really know.
You just can't do that. You can't do that. Like,
no.
No.
But that was the other thing I was going to say, and that segues us into the NFL draft topic that we'll be having. So I'm just going to say my 2 thoughts on the draft and then tell everybody what we're going to be doing. But Lamar Jackson will know a lot of what's going to happen next Thursday. Next Thursday is kind of the big day. All this talk about, all right, you know what? Anthony Richardson just went to the Ravens for a visit. Look, it was one of the later visits. It's not like they did it the first day. So I'm not really thinking too much of it. Plus, I also think that they've created a lot more of this train around Anthony Richardson. Because in the beginning, I know most people didn't really know that much about Anthony Richardson unless you followed college football. But all the time, it's almost some people are almost on drugs saying, oh, Anthony Richardson's about to go #1 pick. Like, how do you end up going from saying that to y'all didn't really know who he was? But long story short, if the Ravens pick a quarterback in the first round, Lamar, they don't really care for it. If they don't pick a quarterback in the first round, they have something happening behind the scenes. But what's happening next week?
In terms of what we're doing?
Yeah.
So we've been talking about doing something live or like something together. And we haven't done it yet. There's been a couple of chances, but we haven't done it yet. So we decided because we did the live feed of the draft last year. And that was cool. We had some people chime in for that. I forget, we did it on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So that was cool. But we decided to this year do it live, so we can do it in my basement next Thursday. We'll do the first round. I guess we'll do we'll see how late it's gonna go to do that because sometimes it's over pretty late. So we'll have a mock top 10 for you guys. And we'll have, live reaction from picks because this time we'll be on the same feed.
Yeah, we
So that was unfortunate, but yeah, that should be cool. And then we gotta figure out like our setup and how we're gonna do all that shit. But yeah, that should be different.
Yeah. So I will also be almost damn near every day talking about it, just letting everybody know to get people on the live stream, but then so it's recorded back. You can listen to it later on. But that is something that I'm looking forward to because Steve and I talk so much about the draft, and it's one of those big events. Sometimes for some people, they love that way more than the Pro Bowl. They love that almost the same amount as some people like the Super Bowl because your team's not in it, but you get to see so much of these different rookie picks, and you get to also see how accurate or non-accurate a lot of these commentators are with saying, oh, this quarterback's about to be the next biggest one. Will Levis is going to be this and that. Then you get to see like that 9th pick or the 10th pick or the receivers going back to back. And who's going to be the first receiver, the tight end? Where's Jalen Carter going to go? So that's going to be something to look forward to. My camera won't spaz out and stuff like that either. So we should be good. They're projecting right now for 300,000 people to be in attendance for the NFL draft. They have 100,000 signed up. It's in Kansas City.
That's right. It's such a random place, right?
It really is.
I hate that. I hate that shit. Like, can we just keep it at Radio City Music Hall? Ooh.
I know.
Oh, I airballed the shit out of that three LeBron did. Can we just keep it at Radio City Music Hall? Like, just
Um,
do we really need to do all this? I mean, the fans seem pretty happy there too. Yeah, you don't
mhm.
want this extra shit.
Yeah, if
It's
that's
gonna
how they
keep.
want to do it.
One thing the stadium's just gonna to keep getting bigger and bigger.
hmm There, that's really why I think also these stadiums are like that. You're trying to put in your bid for the Super Bowl and then also for the draft. Between those two is kind of the main reason why they're building these stadiums bigger and so that they can host other events. Some of these stadiums are going to be able to host the World Cup. Then I know they're preparing for the Olympics as well. It's
Mm.
another big event. And we're one of the, I wouldn't say one of the few, but we're one of the main countries that use our stadiums for things other than the Olympics. Some of these other stadiums, you look at them later on, they just sit there like idle. They can't figure out what to do with them. People don't necessarily want to go there.
And there's countries
But
that
for
build those stadiums just for like the World Cup or some shit, and they never use them again.
never again. Yeah. So they show that in the sense of, I remember with the World Cup, a lot of these cities made money from the World Cup, but they had to pitch out so much money to build these stadiums. Whereas they show how much when it's in like Europe-based countries or here, we don't have to put out that much additional money because we were already going to use these different stadiums. But that brings me to the next thing, and I want to talk about Light in the Beam. So we'll start with that series, and we can touch on some of the series that you want to talk about. But Kings Warriors, I'll be the first to say I didn't expect this. I thought it'd at least be 1-1. What are your thoughts on the Kings Warriors series, and do you think what Draymond did was intentional or accidental?
Um, First of all, I think the Warriors win both games at home, next two games,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just becomes the best three. Yeah, I mean, it's not like the Warriors played like shit. Dude, the Kings are a solid team. All right, I know you hate talking about them, but they're pretty solid.
They are. They
Um,
are.
but the Warriors just suck ass on the road. So I think they take care of business at home, but then they need to they step up a little bit on the road. The Draymond thing, I think it definitely was intentional. I mean, like you don't like that just doesn't that doesn't just happen with your foot, right? Like you got to go through the
Yo, I don't know
motion.
how he did that.
You got to go through the motion of lifting your foot up and slamming it on someone's chest.
Yeah.
Like your foot just doesn't react like that.
No.
But he had it coming because he grabbed Clay's jersey. Sabonis did grabbed
Mm-hmm.
Clay's jersey right before he fell to kind of get him out of the way, and then he grabbed on the Draymond's leg. He had his arms hooked around Draymond's leg. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that excuse what Draymond did? No, you don't stomp on another man. Like
Dog.
unless you're in the act of like kicking his ass for some reason, like a legitimate reason. Don't step on someone. It's like don't punch him.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't do that. That's just not
Yeah.
necessary. So, do I think what he did was right? No, of course not. Like, does he deserve to be suspended? Yeah. Like that's
Yeah.
it. He does it all the time. All the time. Just like when he kicked Steven Adams in the balls. You remember that?
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5
I
years
know
ago,
he
whatever that
did.
was, bro. He kicked him straight in the nuts. Like he
Did.
also he's done that a bunch of times. He's done that a bunch of times. And then he got
Mm-hmm.
suspended for game 5 in the 2016
I
finals
remember that.
or tripping
Yeah.
LeBron or like doing something or whatever. Like, bro, like you're like Rasheed Wallace. You're just a repeat offender. So like they're
Yeah.
going to give you suspension or they're gonna throw you out of the game just because you're a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unfortunate that people are just gonna talk about that with his career probably. Like, yeah, he's a really good player overall. He's probably gonna get Hall of Fame. He's a defensive player of the year. People are gonna forget about
Yeah.
that because he's a dumbass.
Yeah.
God, just that's so like
Uh,
it's so disappointing.
Hot take: Giannis isn't playing tonight either.
He's not.
Giannis isn't
Bad.
playing. John Morant, yeah, but they're winning 29-19. Can you guess who the top scorer is?
I'm gonna say Chris Middleton,
What? No, get out of here.
Lopez.
Yep.
Is
My
he?
man Lopez has found a fountain of youth or something because he got 10 points.
10 points. All right.
He got 10 points, no 3-pointers, 5 of 6 from the field. Yeah. But The other series, so we don't really have to talk about the Hawks and Celtics. That one's done before it even started. Like, it's just not going to be something. The Sixers and the Nets, that's almost going in the same direction as well. The Nets might win one. I'll give them one. I don't really see that series going too far. The other one is the Knicks and the Cavaliers. What are your take on that?
That's gonna be a 7-game series probably, because it's just like a matchup of like two pretty inconsistent teams. Like they both have stretches, but then they both suck ass for a couple games.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is gonna be a 7-game series because of that. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of games of what happened last night, just lopsided, and then like two really like competitive games. But I don't maybe not even that.
Yeah. My other one is
that's gonna go 7.
the Timberwolves and the Nuggets.
That should be over pretty quickly. I think the T-Wolves can get a game though, so that would be like a 5, maybe 6. I would say 5 at best, 6 at worst. But Carl Towns and Carl Anthony Towns and what's his name? Anthony Edwards have to
Edwards.
be the two guys. And Gobert has to play great defense.
Oh, so that's the next thing I wanted to bring up, because they had some survey that was done by the players, and they voted. Some of them voted most overrated was Rudy Gobert. They said, "What does he do outside the block?"
Like, bro, that's he eliminate. I cannot. That doesn't make any sense to me. That is a horrible thought. I don't like him. Okay, but he snags so many. He's like Dwight Howard. He's like what Dwight Howard did in Orlando. You're not going to get a 25-point game from him. Howard was better offensively, but like not by much. Neither one of them have any post moves whatsoever. So
hell no.
Oh Jesus Christ, they suck. They have no post moves. They can rebound like better than a lot like anybody else in the league, probably. Outside maybe a couple guys here and there during those times. Oh my God, the Lakers suck. And Schroeder just headbutted what's his name's thigh or knee.
So my TV is like 3 seconds behind you.
You see the collision. What was I talking about? What were we talking about?
We were talking
Gobert. No, dude. And to have that many blocks a game, like you're eliminating 10 points, you know?
Easily.
Like 8 to 10 points. That's a big swing. So no, that's a overrated. Like I think he's properly rated. Is he like a top 15 player? Like you have to think about it because of what he can do defensively. Like
that's the thing.
It's one of those things. Like was Ben Wallace a good offensive player? No, but he was the best rebounder and best defensive player in the league. So like you had to like talk about it.
Yeah.
I hate Gobert because he started COVID, but I can't deny.
So then
I can't deny
the other one they said was most overrated was Tristan Thompson, and they said the only reason why he has a job is because of LeBron.
I mean, they're not wrong about that.
How did he get on LA? If we're gonna be honest, just be on good terms with LeBron, and LeBron will hook you up.
Yeah, and you were heavily involved with the Kardashians and still are.
You are, yeah. All of that helps. My last thing I want to talk about, and we should have brought this up in the NFL. It's 2 things. So DeMar Hamlin, they said he's cleared to play in the NFL again, and he said this is just a setback, but he's going to play. He wants to play. What are your thoughts? Because I have strong thoughts on this topic.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's a really bad idea.
Yeah. It
looks like Tua playing. I think it's a really bad idea.
So that was the other one I was going to bring up.
Yeah, I just don't think it's smart. Like I just don't understand how like if you're like someone like in their camp, family, a close friend, whatever, like I don't like you gotta like that's especially Hamlin, like how he was dead multiple times.
Yes.
And I mean Tua's he's gonna be pretty fucked up. He'll have CTE for sure. Yeah, just bad ideas, man. Like I know the money's good. I know football is like it's life for those guys, but like especially DeMar Hamlin's like, come on, really? Like there's got to be other things you can do in life, like that are not related to this. Yeah, just bad ideas on both fronts.
I think for DeMar Hamlin, I really think this is kind of sort of publicity stunt. Same way how they did the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. They kept saying, "Oh, Colin Kaepernick is making a comeback." You know, damn well the clause in that settlement they gave him was keep making it look like you want to come back, but
Yep.
that money we gave you is going to be nice. With DeMar Hamlin, you know how bad this would look for the NFL if they just said, I don't want to play ever again. But him saying, I want to go back. It's like, look, even he's dedicated to the sport and will risk his life. Then
Like,
Tua saying he's going to retire, he thought about retiring. You should have.
I know what happened to Hamlin was like super rare, like whatever. I can't remember like the medical term. I know it's like super rare, and it's like it has to be at the right time, right impact, all that shit. But
Mm-hmm.
like, come on, like I know that they probably fucked you up to some capacity with your body and your heart and whatnot. So yeah, bad ideas on both fronts, you know. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Like I don't.
I
Well, we'll see.
I hope Tua doesn't play for a long time, but I know that they have so many expectations of him. My man has too many concussions for life itself. Um, that was kind of my last thing over on that front. What do you have for everyone?
Shout out to my dad. Birthday was
Shout
2 days
out.
ago, so shout out to my pops. Um, yeah, just overall, really enjoyed Blue White Weekend. I think just taking a little homie up there. Um, it's funny, like my daughter, Mia's like she likes Penn State, like she gets up for it, and we make it a day and all that kind of good stuff. But it's like the passion isn't there yet
Mm-hmm.
for her. Whereas Mason, like he knows where we're going, like he knows, what to say. He knows like what we're gonna be doing. He likes it. He likes football. So I think I mean both kids like it, but he just likes a little more, which obviously like the father son thing was pretty dope. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that was cool. So shout out to my dad and shout out to little homie.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. So for mine, I'll keep it short and simple. Um, Thanks honestly to everybody out there that continues to listen to us. And because I
Shout
was
out to
talking to
Tom.
my dad today and he asked me, he said, how long have you two been doing the show? And I said, damn, this is really going to be 2 years.
Is it really?
Like 2 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it started in 2021. So, and I've started to notice like some of the views will go up on certain videos. And then also we hit that 100 subscriber mark. So now our goal is at 200. But a lot of big things will be coming this year. I've been in talks and like working through the edits and stuff with this graphic designer. So when that comes out, I'm excited to end up rolling that out. Yeah, slowly but surely. So I've been like getting opinions just to see how that goes. But then there's going to be so many people I'm going to bring back on the show. We will have Tyler back on the show. Talk to him probably like 2 or 3 times. I want to get Mike back on the show. We are not going to get an L on the show. We just don't speak of him. But nothing but love. But other than that,
Nothing but love.
until next time, we'll catch y'all Thursday of next week. We out.
Peace.